You're drunk on love. You're sleeping in the past. I gaze at the flame and fire burn and cry out the name of which I am.
May 24th, 1969. There were some that were rich. They stayed home. But others, less fortunate, farmers' boys, 18-year-olds, the poor, that could not escape this. 1969. First Cavalry, Vietnam, they head off. Bell helicopters used. Brave men went off to fight for freedom, because freedom is not free. Going off at 18 years old to protect their country in a war they didn't know what they were doing. 18 years old. Picture yourselves, 18 years old, and in a situation like that. Off you go, leaving mom and dad, leaving school, leaving everything that you knew was comfortable. Going off. Brave men. So brave. I know those men. My dad was a World War II vet at a time This is a movie. This is not a costume. This is uniform. It's a code.
I'm used to a light board. I can't get used to it. I'm used to a heavy board. I know, it's a real drag. You prefer a heavy or a light board? Heavier. Really? Yeah. All the young guys like lighter boards. Can't run nose on those things.
Kids.
This is Eagle Thrust 7. We've got his body.
Big new 16 across. Put on heading 270. Pursue attack formation.
Heroes.
That's a Roger, Big Duke. Okay, we're going to get it.
We're cutting low into the rising sun. And about a mile out, we'll put on the music. Yeah, I use Wagner. It scares the hell out of the slopes. My boys love it. Hey, we're gonna play music.
And when they came home, did they get a thank you? Hell no. Questions later. Questions later.
Go ahead, you can read if you want. I know it's not important to you, so you can read. You can read. Yeah, you're my guest.
Big new 16 thrust. Put on sound war on. Bring it loud. And the Romeo Fox cry. Shall we dance?
People can't handle it. That's all right. You have the freedom, believe. You have the freedom to educate yourself. That's what it's all about. Empowering yourself with education. Wrong or right, we went in. Remember, kids at 18, doing what they're told to serve our country at a need, fulfilling that need. Many perished in this war, and the ones that made it home have the scars that lingered for years and years and years. Social deviants, going off as innocent babies, if you will. You get thrown into something like this, maybe it might change your psyche a bit. When your job was to milk cows and feed chickens on farms or whatever, or deliver paper, or worrying about what girl to take to the prom, or maybe a first handhold at a drive-in theater, but no, this. Going into this. Did you run up to Canada? Hell no. You served. How would this impact you if you were in those boots, in these trousers? Being told it was the right thing to do. But maybe it wasn't the right thing to do, but you did it anyhow. You have your conscience to deal with. The mental anguish of taking people's lives that were totally innocent, some of them. Casualties of war. Fighting for opposite beliefs. We need, in our lifetime, to fight for what we believe in, but more or less, educate yourself so that you can discuss and get over these things, so we don't have to resort to this. It's all about education. It's all about passion. It's all about many deviants, maybe standing up for what you believe in.
Check it out. Well done, Hawks. Well done. Also, 20 Mike Vulcan. Mine will almost shoot on it. Just ripple the shit out of it.
Got a vehicle on the bridge. 50 caliber on board, including a cross. He's planning a weapon.
Deviance, social deviance. Lights up. Social deviance. There was a time you have to make a stand. You have to decide with education what you're going to do. Social deviance. These boys came home from war. They put down their guns. They took off their uniforms. Took off their hats. Even took the glasses off that blinded them with such horrors that scarred them for life. The boys that came home were scarred. Laurie Notch knows that because her dad was a helicopter pilot, Chinook helicopter pilot in this war. The scars that lingered on. And they took those glasses off and were totally blurred, shaking almost from the traumaticness of war. Coming home with not a hero's welcome, but to be spat upon and to be shown to be baby killers, less than human and deviant. Well, they came home shaken, trembling because of the horrors in which they had faced, and they put a new set of glasses on. They put them on, tried to make some sort of sense of all this. They put feathers in their hair. They put on another uniform. You know, that total different uniform. They put a coat on, a uniform, mind you, not a costume. A different uniform on. They put a different hat on. They came home. And they came home, but they came home with the horrors that they faced. And sometimes these horrors were so blinding, they had to put the shades on. And deviance. Deviance? After going through that hell, deviance? Didn't have enough money to go to Canada. Didn't have enough money to go home. Well, guess what? We put something else on. They come back, they wanted peace and begin with. They didn't want to go off, but they went off to serve their country. Freedom is not free. Deviant, I say not. Expressionistic, I say. Don't be afraid to stand up for what you believe in and who you are. You're here for a reason. You're here for a reason. The reason is to educate yourself. Simple at times. Pass that around if you will. Signs of peace, harmony. Those are what. This is not the answer. Guns. Understanding, passion, and every day being able to express yourself as who you are. Not to be somebody else, but to be proud of who you are. That's why you're here. That's why you're not running to the gates. Not closing your eyes to the world. Running out to this, because it's too much to handle. You're here. You're here to represent America. Every one of you. You guys are the future. So we don't get caught up in this stuff anymore. So, with this I say, takes love, takes education, takes passion, takes listening ears, takes learning. Invest in each and every one of yourselves because you're worth the investment. Social deviance? I don't know. Peace. harmony, love. I know some people roll their eyes and say, I've heard this before. This is just a big sham, right? Well, no, it isn't. Not really. Because there's guys that lost their lives there for your freedom, to roll your eyes, to do what you do, the music you listen to, the knickers you put on, how your heart beats. There are people defending that right. Don't waste your time. Your time is now. Your time is now. Open the floor. What are the questions you have? Go ahead. You just belt them out. You don't have to raise your hand. Just, how do you feel? How do you feel in this moment of empowerment? Because you guys have the say now. Realize that? You have the say of how far you go and how much education you have. Social deviance. I don't know. I didn't think it was social deviance as a young lad, watching those boys come home. Social deviance were the people that were spitting on them, saying baby killers. These rich people, you're standing on the medium strips because they come home, they're so shaken.
Let them ask
Yeah,
questions.
go ahead, ask some questions.
Here's your chance.
How can you do
Honestly,
that?
ask anything. Ask
Anything, don't be shy. This is your time.
Sociological
Don't you understand? This is
imagination.
the time to shine. There's no question. This
Apply
gentleman
your
right here,
sociological
this gentleman right here is serving in the military. Right here, this gentleman right here. It's a duty, and I thank you for serving, son. It's not to be ashamed, it's to be recognized and applauded. These people devote to country and honor. It's a code. So, go ahead, any questions?
Come on.
I know it's a lot to digest, really.
Silence.
Kind of unexpected.
How come you have a red cord on your hat and not a yellow one?
Because I chose that.
Okay.
And it's difference between a colonel and a general and whatnot. In that war, that was interchangeable.
Hey, I don't recall them wearing red.
I recall them wearing all different colors depending on what faction they were involved in. Whether it was Army, whether it was Air Force.
So what does the red represent?
The red represents, to me, bloodshed. To me.
And you served?
My dad served.
Your dad?
World War II. He came home, and in fact my dad, which I admired a lot, and I still do today, he's looking down on me in heaven right now. He's a teacher 42 years. He gave his service to his country, came home, gave 42 years of service in the education, teaching, sharing his experiences, and he also built the Price Corner Drive in 1952. So I get a lot of inspiration from him. And he was heavily involved in students at Paul High School. Teacher like Laurie Notch. She's giving her time and her experience to you.
Not about me, it's about you.
No, it is about the education that you're getting. That's what it's all about. You're not here just to, make pen pals. You got Facebook for that. Yeah? You're not looking to go to the next prom or, geez, he's cute, I'm going to ask him out. You're here for education. You're here to better yourself. And that's why you ask questions. That's why when you go home, wow, what the heck happened today? Who the hell is that guy? Where's he from? I'm like you. I went to school. I was in your shoes and I was in your spot. No different. No different at all. I learned a lot by my father and his experiences and how his bravery that rubs off on you. Laurie Notch learned a lot of the torment of war that she lived through. She actually was in war-torn areas, but she also was in this psychological war that was fronted onto her because of him coming out of Vietnam was living hell. From her car being pushed into a bog with a tractor to all the other nonsense that goes on that's behind closed doors. Drinking and drug abusing and stuff like that. because they didn't have the help. You go from that to this and put the shades on, you're basically walking around troubled, to say the least. And like I gotta point out, because as a young lad, I was born in 1969, May 24th, 1969, as I begun. So I wasn't of age to go to Vietnam or anything like that. But I surely saw the Bloods growing up as a kid. I was a wild kid, you know, blonde hair, crazy, overalls and stuff. But I always saw those guys in the fatigues and stuff with the peace sign and shaking and on the medium strips and stuff, like not being welcomed into their own country, not feeling loved. You know, they just wanted love. They wanted a thank you or something, not to be spat upon. That's what you got to think. There's people less fortunate than you out there. Don't judge them. Don't judge them. Say, what can I do to help you? That's being educated. Don't leave them on the curbside. There's a guy that was shooting up on East End Beach, foaming at the mouth. I said, that guy's in rough shape, man. Call 911. I called 911, and they're just sunbathing, tops off, whatever. Not even worried about the guy. I'm walking with my dog. I noticed the guy foaming. And the people from the paramedics were strolling, walking down the beach like they're on a date, you know, instead of running. If that was your dad, wouldn't you be running to his aid? And the guy wisely said, oh, I can't run because I might be out of breath and I won't be able to handle it. I won't be able to take care of him. Deviant. Social deviance. Right there. If I run, I'm not going to be able to take care of him. Wow. I got to take my glasses off. Wow. That was eye-opening, believe me. I told him, you better go to the gym then. You better put down the donuts and get to the gym. Because I know if it was my dad, I'd be running. And if I was qualified, I would have been over the fence and holding his hand or something. Total stranger. That's what we got to do. We got to show passion. And if showing passion and showing expression and showing difference can be good. People label. They want to label. He's deviant. He's got long hair. It should be short hair. You got reddish hair. Or you got a vest on with tall boots. It's not that. It's not what you wear. It's what's in your heart and what's in your head. That's why we're here. We're here to get educated. Educated, and to be educated is to be passionate.
Questions, come on. I know you're wondering all kinds of things.
Well, that's good to wonder and to ponder. And it's not,
Yeah,
you know,
is that, Lauren?
it might even come to you at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Hang on, Lauren has
Go
something
ahead.
to
Oh,
say.
I don't know what to.
You don't know what to say?
Yeah, I need your help.
Oh, you need my help?
Give
Well,
us some ideas.
What are ideas? Come on.
We're all the family. We're all the family in here. We're all here to get educated. There's no one better than anybody else.
Have any
So,
of you?
are you like a public speaker?
No, what I am is,
Good question.
I'm an American human being that's gone through the ups and downs of life, like you're going to be experiencing. I'm 48 years old. Like I said, I was born May 24th of 1969. I lived through these times, so I'm just sharing moments and expression of love and passion that I have overwhelmingly have. So I bring a different kind of experience to my essence because I nearly died of Wilson's disease. Wilson's disease is a disease in which you're born with that you have a high, I don't metabolize copper. So late in life, I was diagnosed with this. I've always been, let's say, if you want to term maybe a little eccentric, cum laude graduate from Cortland State. Cum laude is all A's and whatnot of kinesiology, the study of movement. So not to bore you with that information, but basically I'm here to share life experiences. And so you can use whatever tidbit of information that locked in. Or you might just say, erase everything. The guy was nuts. Walk out and not learn a thing.
What kind of difference are you looking to make? Like,
What I'm looking to make is to have people open their eyes all the way. You have love in you. You have passion in you. You have a lot to offer. And for you to realize that, you on your own, you can shine. You yourself, you're here for a reason. You're here to invest in yourself. The best investment you'll ever give. And guess what? When you invest in yourself, you don't do drugs, you don't smoke, you don't drink. You set an example, you have kids and whatnot to give on to them. You can do anything. You can do anything. I have 2 sons that I love dearly. And you'll have offspring probably, some of you. The thing of it is, this is a time to shine. We only have this one moment. Every time, when we were born, the hourglass was turned. Sand drips through the hourglass every minute, every second, every hour, every day, every month, every year. This moment together, we have together. That grain of sand, whether you like it or not, has me in front of you doing this presentation. You can never get this back. Snapshot in history. You can either take it, you can either take it and run with it, but your question is quite
Yeah, no,
good.
you had a good question.
I'm
Keep
trying to
asking.
answer it, so.
Keep
so what is
asking.
your greatest experience that you've learned from life? Like, through positivity and like blocking out all the negative?
Well, probably the greatest experience is probably experiencing some of those real negatives and turning them into positives. Because you gotta know the difference. You gotta know hell, Vietnam, and the possibilities of heaven, if you want to go that route. Or the possibilities of, we all have our hells that we have to deal through. It's not always high. You can't always be at the top of your game. You get sick sometimes with the flu, or you don't feel like doing much, or you have those ups and downs. You gotta ride the wave and learn how to ride it. Like people, for instance, there's people that had the devastating hurricane that rolled through the Panhandle, Michael. They have to regroup everything. They've lost everything. And those people lost their whole lives, maybe pictures that can never be back, family members and whatnot. Life savings, gone, poof. What do? That kind of desperation. And when you face death, when you face death and you look at it eye to eye and you come to the realization you are nearly checked out, you have a rebirth of everything, a second chance. Some people don't get second chances. So what I'm saying is, don't blow the chance that you have now. Because now is the time to shine. Today, tomorrow, weeks, do the work. Do the work in the class, do the work outside the class, do the work building your attire, building your personalities, because they're all in shape. You look to people like I covered Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd in college. I like the music. One of my childhood and growing up was I have heroes like every one of you guys probably has people you look up to. Mine was Robert Plant. I loved Robert Plant. I loved what he represented, kind of hippie-ish, but it was just natural to me to navigate that. And in certain lighting, some people say that I might look like Robert Plant, but at any rate, but not getting off of that, but.
Is deviance the way to go about to be able to make that change? Is social deviance
Well, social deviance is interesting because social deviance is a break from the norm. But who sets the norms? What is considered normal? What is? So if they tell you you have to be a square and you're really a circle, they try to jam you into that square, then you chisel yourself out. So then you're like this. you're held back. You can't even breathe. You're not even yourself. If you can't be yourself, you're not free. And why were the boys fighting in the war for your freedom if you're not allowed to be free? Now there's a difference from being free and then being totally free from all morality. You shouldn't be running around with guns and trying to get people to shoot up and stuff like that. That's not freedom. That's horrific. That's like doing harm onto people. But the thing of it is, you have to be yourself.
So
You have to know yourself.
right. So in your experience, social deviance has been giving you that freedom, or has it held you back to some
No,
extent?
social deviance, in some aspects of it, is negative social deviance and there's positive social deviance. For instance, Roger Waters is doing some music that he's mentioning a bloke you might know as a president, Donald Trump. And he is, you might want to look it up on your own time on YouTube, Pigs 3 Different Ones, where he's doing the Animals album, and he's referring to him as a PIG. So whether you believe that or not, whether you believe he is doing right by you, but remember, not everybody always does the right thing at the right time. No one is ever perfect. So social deviance is like your hair compared to your hair, and your hair, sir, in the front. What hairdo is best? What hairdo is best? Well, it's best for you to wear your hair the way you want it. That's the way you wear your hair the way you want it, and same with you. What makes it?
No hair, yay.
And you too, the way you want your hair. Exactly. So
Low maintenance.
that's an example. And if someone said, hey mate, you best get your hair cut, you know, those times are over. Oh, they really are, huh? Well, my time is now. My time is now. I can wear it wherever I want. You want short hair? No problem. If I want to put it short hair, then there you go. There's short hair. There.
So, but does it give you freedom, or is there like with society and stigmas and all that create a lot of turmoil and pain or suffering too at the same time?
Well, it all depends. It all depends on the individual. Like I can only speak for myself. I can only speak for myself. This gentleman in the back, he can only speak for himself. So if you ask him, he might have a totally different answer. It depends on what experience he's had. You know? It depends on how you've been brought up. You know, Laurie Notch could tell you some horror stories. She's very, I mean, she's here sharing, but the traumatic events.
Answer her question.
I'm going to answer the question. The traumatic events that she had to endure, being her dad being a helicopter pilot in Vietnam, those scars and those traumatic events came home with them. Whether on purpose, it was just that.
About your experience.
So my experience is I had similar tragic events like anybody else. You can either learn from them or you can adopt them and carry them as baggage. Well, guess what? The bad things you leave at the door. And that's including friends that you can't help. That you try to help, you try to get them off drugs, you try to do everything you can. You try to almost try to get them in the right place. But at the end of the day, if it means your life or the other person's life, you gotta keep your core, because you can extend like a tree with branches and leaves to help people. But if they don't want to help themselves, you can't cut you down. I don't know if that, see, I'm very poetic, but I know you guys are smart, so you guys get the analogies I'm giving you. Go ahead.
So how does your deviance, like, I'm trying to rephrase what you said, how does that like fulfill your life?
Well,
Like,
I don't consider deviant. This isn't deviant. This is called being expressionistic,
Yeah, expressionistic.
and not afraid to show passion.
Yeah.
Because so many people And I say so many people because I don't know the individuals and I don't want to name them because, you know, I don't have any right to name them. But so many people are afraid to show passion, to show who they really are or who they're not.
So with your passion, do you get stigmatized in society, and how does that affect you if you do?
Well, it's a learning experience to make them learn that, you know, just because you have long hair and you love people and you love to share, sharing is caring, it's not all about.
Lauren, go ahead.
And what have you done, like, to, like, I don't know, talk to society about, like, what you do?
Well, I've been fortunate enough to meet some people that that you collectively, you kind of find people that, and I dare say, my dad has had a big example and impression upon me, as well as being brought up watching the movies. The drive-in. My dad built the drive-in, Pride's Gone Drive-In in 1952. So watching all these scenarios, plausible and non-plausible scenarios of how everyday life, the ups and downs, the emotional swings of movies shape an individual, especially as a child. As a young child growing up, watching Peter Sellers and Woody Allen and James Bond and all those actors and whatnot, that shapes an individual. Whether you know it or not, it does. So I guess the answer to your question is, when you take an individual with pain and have traumatic events that happen in their life, and there's always another side of the coin. For every bad situation, there's a bright solution. Your bright solution, my bright solution was I was able to go to college, fulfilled the dream of having a beautiful wife. I had a medieval wedding with her, having 2 beautiful sons, and the experience of life that is yet to be had by you, and to want the desire to go out and reach out for the stars.
Okay, we got to stop here, but think about this. You can look him up online, Andrew Tavanian, write it down. You can friend him on Facebook.
There's also lots of pictures that I do for scenarios and whatnot that are expressionistic, and some are comical, it isn't all serious.
And if you care, because I did have a student last term who did do a paper on him. So we set up a time for an interview. You can organize, this could be a subject for a paper to write about.
Thank you guys, thank you for sharing your lives with me in this moment, and good luck. Good luck.
All right, so Monday, we're gonna spend more time on this unit, this chapter, because it's a little interesting. So I just thought, think about today, process this over the weekend, we're gonna talk about it on Monday, okay? No, probably not till, we're gonna spend more time on this unit, maybe not till Wednesday, maybe not till Friday. This is an interesting unit, you know, isn't it? So, all right. Say goodbye to Gilmore. You can go peg the dog if you like. He's up there in the chair. Be my guest. Go pet him. He's friendly. He might bark.
Oh, the storm is strapped near my very life today. If I don't get some shelter, oh, I'm gonna fade away. Oh, shelter, it's just a shadow, it's just a shadow. Oh, shelter. It's just a shot away. It's just a shot away. No, sister. It's just a kiss away. It's just a kiss away.